my name is Michelle, and we will be solving absolute value equations today. So here are the steps written out. First, we will isolate the absolute value. Second, we will solve for x by splitting the equation in two. And 3, we will check work by plugging it back in to the original equation. So let's start with the examples. First, we have 2 times the absolute value of x is equal to 3. So we're going to isolate the absolute value like we would on a normal equation by dividing both sides by 2. And we will end up with the absolute value of x is equal to 3 divided by 2. Next, we have to solve by x by splitting the equation by into 2. And what that means is, so remember how in the last video I said that a positive number and a negative number have the same absolute value. To split the equation in 2, what we're going to do is we are going to take the positive version, x equals 3 divided by 2, and the negative version, x equals negative 3 divided by 2. Alright, and since there isn't any expression we have to solve for, these two would be our final answers. And now we have to check our work by plugging it back in. So let's plug it back in up here. So the absolute value of 3 divided by 2 is equal to 3 divided by 2. So that would be the distance of 3 divided by 2 from 0 is 3 divided by 2, which is correct. And let's check our second solution. The absolute value of negative 3 divided by 2 is equal to 3 divided by 2. And that is also correct. Here is the second example. We have negative 5 times the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 10. First we're going to isolate the absolute value by subtracting 2 on both sides. And we'll get negative 5 times the absolute value of x equals 8. And then we will divide by negative 5 on both sides. And we will get the absolute value of x equals 8 divided by negative 5. Now we will solve for x by splitting these two into 2 equations. We have the positive equation, which will be x equals 8 divided by 5, and the negative equation, which will be x equals negative 8 divided by 5. Now something strange is going to happen here. When we check our work by plugging it back in, we have the absolute value of 8 divided by 5 equals 8 divided by negative 5. Well, we see something weird is happening here. Well, the absolute value of 8 divided by 5 is not negative 8 divided by negative 5. The absolute value is always positive, so this would be incorrect. And we see the same thing when we check the other solution. The absolute value of negative 8 divided by 5 equals 8 divided by negative 5. That's incorrect as well. So whenever we isolate our absolute value, if it equals a negative number, we will have no solution. So our answer will be no solution. Alright, let's move on to the next exercise. Here we have the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 4. And it's already isolated, so there's nothing to isolate. We're going to move on to step 2, solve for x by splitting the equation in 2. We're going to split this into the positive and negative. The positive 1 will be x plus 2 equals 4, and the negative 1 will be x plus 2 equals negative 4. And now we just solve these like normal equations. We will subtract 2 on both sides, get x equals 2, subtract both sides on this side, and get x equals negative 6. We're gonna plug these two in to check. So we will have 2 plus 2, the absolute value of 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 2 plus 2 will be 4, so the absolute value of 4 is 4, which is correct. And we will check the other equation, which would be absolute value of negative 6 plus 2 equals 4. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4, which is correct. Alright, So let's move on to our last example. 3 times the absolute value of x minus 4 minus 3 equals 9. We want to isolate our absolute value by adding 3 on both sides and dividing by 3 on both sides. And we will end up with the absolute value of x minus 4 equals 4. And we will split the equations into two. Positive one will be x minus 4 equals 4, and the negative one will be x plus 4 equals negative 4. We solve by adding 4 on both sides, x equals 8. And here we will solve by, oops, that's incorrect. This would be x minus 4 equals negative 4. So we will add both 4 on both sides, and that will be x equals 0. Now we want to plug these back into check. And actually, we don't have to plug into this equation. We can just plug into this one, the one that's already isolated. So we have the absolute value of 8 minus 4 equals 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. That's correct. And the absolute value of 0 minus 4 equals 4. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. And the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So that's correct. Alright, so today we went over how to solve absolute value equations. I hope you learned something, and have a great day.